Hey, Steve Wagner here, Virtual Properties Realty. I'm going to go over a new series I'm launching. It's on the way of success, the flow of success, becoming a victor versus being a victim. Getting into both the science and the psychology of success. And so to really get this thing kicked off right, I had a tough choice of which of the two of the most brilliant people that have ever lived, Newton or Vilfredo Pareto. I'm going to go over it with Vilfredo Pareto. So this is the foundational principle that you need to think about, getting into the flow of success, the psychology of success, the science of success. And Vilfredo Pareto is known for his 80-20 rule, or his Pareto Principle, as you call it. Now, if you really get into this thing, it gets deep. I mean, it's really complicated, but it's really good stuff. I'm going to go over the most fundamental principles that Vilfredo Pareto has brought. But you've got to know this, you've got to follow this, or you don't have a chance of succeeding. So first and foremost, 20%. What is the 80-20 principle? What is the Pareto principle? 20% of the causes bring 80% of the results, the outcomes, the returns, the effects. It's cause and effect. So if we can identify and keep ourselves focused on those 20%, those 20% of the activities, those actions that bring those greater results, then we'll be successful. So it's kind of that simple. Now let's talk a little bit more about Vilfredo Pareto, because I told you he's a very interesting person. He is known for being an economist, and he really made a lot of advancements in economics and microeconomics. And like I said, he's a very complicated person. But he's also, believe it or not, a biologist. He studied botany. He was an engineer. He considered himself a sociologist, and he was a philosopher. So all that stuff kind of made him an interesting person. And, I said he was into biology. I don't know if he was actually a biologist, but he was into biology. He considered himself a botanist, and he had a garden. This is where his Newton moment, as we call it. He's in his garden. This is something he liked to do to take the stress off. It was his quiet place. But then he started getting frustrated because he's looking at his crops that he's tending to day by day, and he goes, dang it, I wish that the 80% of the crops would do what this 20% is doing over here. This 20% is doing 80% of the production. This 80% is bringing 20% of the production. And then it dawned on him, that this is the same thing he's saying, and all his economics, that was his main job. And engineering, why do 20% of the landowners, 20% of the people own 80% of the land? Why are 20% of the investments bringing 80% of return? Everywhere he went, it was somewhat of an 80-20 type of a scenario going. And so he basically concluded, and he studied this for decades and decades, that this is basically a universal law. I mean, yeah, you can try to fight it, but you just need to get into the flow. Okay, my way of fighting it is getting you to join in. I don't like it that I have an organization, possibly it's the 80-20 rule. So I want to get everybody involved. But honestly, if you really study it, there's only a certain amount that's there. And in any competitive endeavor, 20% of the people are probably going to do gonna be responsible for 80% of the results. So, so you want to be that person, that part of that 20%. You want to be that part of that 1%, no doubt. But you definitely want to get that 20% club. But then when you're becoming a manager, what do you got to do? Well, you need to hire the people that are the 20% to do the 8%. If you're going to be a bad manager, you're going to fail if you're getting the 80%. Hire someone in that part that's doing the 20%. So then also one of the most important things we'll talk about later on is who you hang out with. If you're always hanging out with the 80%, that do the 20%, because that's probably the more comfortable people to hang out with. It's very comfortable to hang out with them. But you're not going to be that, they're going to drag you in that area. So you actually need to hang out with the people that are in that 20% doing the 80%. And again, that's because that they are more disciplined in their actions and thoughts. So what is this? What do I want you to derive from this? This is a foundational thing. I just want you to accept the challenge. And let's go on a little journey and let's study what is it to be part, what is the science and the psychology, what are the actions necessary to be part of that 20% club, that victor club, not the victim club. So the victim club doesn't accept the challenges, doesn't investigate it, doesn't try. But the victors say, that's my club. I'm going to be in that club, and there's nothing wrong with it. All right, watch the rest of the videos, and I hope you enjoy this.